All right, I need to know, would you pay this amount of money for this car? So another Fast and Furious car just sold for a ridiculous amount of money at auction. It's no big surprise that every time a Fast and Furious car hits the auction block that it pulls ridiculous money. The newest one up is Han's Veilside RX-7 from Tokyo Drift, which, side note, I think that is an underrated movie. Never got a lot of love. I think it deserves more than it gets. But this particular car was used for still shots and up close shots. It wasn't drifted, it wasn't stunted in any way, it wasn't wrecked. So this is a clean example of the Veilside RX-7. Now, this particular one did get a little bit of a refurbish, cleaned up a bit before auction, and it does still have what they call movie car marks on it. So it has the camera mount marks on the windshields and other places, and hashtag 71 Hans labels throughout the coupe, things like that. So there is evidence of movie use. Now they do give some detail on the car, mainly its size and what's going on with it because of the Veilside kit. They said it measures 7.9 inches longer than a stock FD, has pearlescent orange paint, 19-inch Andrew Premium Series Racing Evolution 5 wheels, and Pirelli P0 Nero tires that measure 12 inches wide in the back. The twin-turbo rotary engine was rebuilt, although it still, again, only had 66,000 miles on it in total. The car has been traveled 5,000 miles since maintenance has been done, but has currently been sitting. The Mazda sold for $1.2 million at auction. That is absolutely nuts. Now that is, I think, the second highest selling Fast and Furious car that I found. Now correct me if I'm wrong, please, because I'm not an expert here. The second highest, or I'm sorry, the first highest was Paul Walker's blue Skyline, which sold for $1.357 million. We're getting real specific, but let's first round it to 1.35. That car doesn't shock me because, one, it was Paul Walker's car. So I'm not shocked at all that thing got a ridiculous amount of money. And if you didn't know, these cars are usually stock. They're not highly modified and as fast as they look like in the movies. The RX-7 is a stock engine, has an exhaust on it. This GTR, same thing, fairly stock, has an exhaust on it to make the sounds, and it has a blow-off valve. That's it. Nothing crazy. Now this one from Paul Walker, though, says it came with obviously all the aesthetics from the movie, so the seats, the steering wheel, all that crap. 19-inch Volk Racing wheels, Turbonetics intercooler, Nismo NE1 exhaust. Windows PC was linked to the heads-up display, but aside from that, a stock R34. We also had, I know originally I was talking about the RX-7, but I want to keep going here with other Fast and Furious cars, because we also had the Skyline, I'm sorry, not the Skyline, we just talked about that one, the Supra from the original Fast and Furious, the orange one that Paul Walker and Dominic Toretto built. That sold for $550,000. Now here's the kicker with that one. One, totally stock 2JZ, and an automatic transmission. A 4-speed automatic, but it had the shifter handle and boot to make it look like a manual. But this was really an automatic transmission car. Totally stock. All the aesthetics, though, there's still documentation that it was used for, close-ups, things like that. Same as the RX-7. It's the, I don't call it the show car, but I don't know. There was a term for it where it was the one that was all pretty and not stunted or anything else like that. But I do think they did say this one was used for a couple stunts before it was refurbished. So that's kind of crazy to me. And the only other one that sold for a lot of money, but not an extensive amount, was the Eclipse that Paul Walker drove in the first one. That sold for $170,000. Now here's the kicker with this. Fast and Furious fans know, but if you don't know, I'm going to tell you. This car never had the turbo engine in it. This was the 2-liter naturally aspirated engine that was in the movie. I mean, you all know it. If you pop the hood, you pick that out pretty quick. But that's proof in this auction, they had pictures under the hood, and it was an automatic. That's also an automatic. Like the Supra, automatic wasn't a manual. So I don't know what's going on here with some of these cars that are automatics and not manuals, but that's the way they built them for whatever reason. So all these cars, ridiculous amounts of money, especially the new RX-7, the Veilside, sold for $1.2 million. What do you think?